are we looking at in the first chest, do you think?
Probably rupees. It's always rupees. I hardly see anything else, honestly, whenever I do these.
Yeah, rupees are a little bit of love. We'll see. We're about... Oh, and we're getting started here.
Different fronts. Oh, okay, there's rupees in Link's
Rupees.
house, and there are the arrow. I think it was an arrow upgrade. Oh, no, just regular arrows from the sanctuary chest.
Yep. Rick, meanwhile, looking like he's going to be heading up and checking the first bit of escape with your uncle there.
Gonna try to kill one of these guards right here so he can check the tree pole. Generally a good strategy to do. This is something I generally like to do in my runs, so you can check some chests and also get two items as well. So, or get some tree pole items anyway.
Meanwhile, we have Spags on his way up to check to see what exactly we're going to have in the lumberjack cave. Interesting early check here.
Yeah, for sure. Rick is going to open the first chest. It is a full heart container. Tree, we have a piece of heart, just as Rick gets a piece of heart as well. So, just yet, but there's plenty of time, and with open mode, lots of differing routes as well. That's one of the things I like about open mode. You can customize your route in many different ways, and you can't really say one way is worse or better than the other because it all depends on what items you'll get on that particular route. So you want to do what you're comfortable with.
Absolutely. In the standard mode that the tournament happened over the summer, I think we ended up getting sick of seeing escapes so frequently, and Spags pulling 300 rupees out while checking there.
Yeah, that is very nice. That's going to help him with the bottle vendor. It'll also help him buy some bombs if he'll need them. So yeah, always good to get that first 300 rupees as early as possible. It's just hearts.
Just hearts. So this is a nothing but love seed so much, which is not so good for our runners, but great if you love songs.
And honestly, I wouldn't even say getting health early is really that bad because sometimes there will be seeds where you don't get any health whatsoever, and you have to do a lot of bosses on just 3 or 4 or even 5 hearts of damage. So not too bad to get hearts early, but I definitely understand. You still want to get some items at the very least.
Absolutely, and an early moon pearl
and
the cane. So much value in blinds. We clearly see why he was sent to the Dark World. He had been stealing a lot of stuff.
And I didn't highlight it, but the bottle vendor actually gave us some bombs, so he didn't have to walk all the way down to the item shop to actually purchase some bombs. He actually got a few from another purchase he had to make to check items, so that was also a very nice find.
Man, this is just so great immediately to get Cane and Moon Pearl, not wondering where those items are going to be. We're going to see early Dark World access, I think.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they still have a few items to get. Obviously, with early Dark World access, you do need the Power Gloves and the Hammer as well. But there's still time. There's a lot of places to check, and also with the Moon Pearl, you get the potential to check the Fake Flippers Waterfall Cave as well.
Meanwhile, Spags also pulling the Magic Cape and the Powder also from the well.
The items to have, especially during, Powder for dungeons, so you can get fairies from anti-fairies, and the Magic Cape, it can be good for protecting against some bosses.
It's an absolutely great safety item to have, that Magic Powder. We've seen a lot of players use it.
Yeah, for sure.
Giving each other a high five here at the chicken house.
Going to the item shop to get some more bombs. Already using his 3 bombs that he got from the bottle vendor, so understandable that he would buy some more.
Rick, meanwhile, getting the bombs and probably a little bit frustrated with that bottle vendor right there.
Yeah, a little bit. I can understand the frustration. Pags getting a bread boomerang from the tavern. But one thing in regards to is I feel like once you buy bombs from the item shop, you never really have to worry about them again. Like, you don't have to worry about purchasing them at all. I find that if you get 10 early, you may not... Oh! Ooh, I'll address that in just a second. But yeah, if you get those 10 bombs from the shop early, generally you'll find lots of bombs on the overworld and just through enemy pickups as well, so it's not too bad. And yeah, we have the mirror in the library.
All right, so more than likely we're going to see a required boost for that one. It's so rare that the mirror isn't required that, yeah, we're probably going to see a boots required. Meanwhile, Rick's picking up his high-value blind house run.
Sure. And yeah, the thing is, like, the mirror and boots may not necessarily be required in the seed, but it is a lot of different locations you can check. And oh, Desert Palace does look like it is a... Is that a green pendant or just a normal pendant?
I don't know if I actually see that. It looks like it's the green pendant, though, according to the tracker. So Flappy's on top of it tonight. Thanks, Flappy.
Thank you very much for that, Flappy. So yeah, like, and boots required for desert either, which is what I was hinting at. But still, it will make moving around the map a lot faster, and mirror will also kind of help the teleportation from the light world or from the dark world to the light world a lot easier as well.
Yeah, mirror is only required if, for whatever reason, Swamp Palace is required. But so if Swamp Palace is required, then we know the boots are going to be required. If boots aren't required for anything else along the way,
Rick is going to blind check the race up here. Find some racers kind of go around to see what the item is, but some people like to go ahead and make this gamble just because if there is an item there, they can go ahead and grab it while they're up there.
It is kind of a low-risk, high-reward strategy because it just saves you so much time. Pags, meanwhile, going to go ahead and do escape with just bombs as his only weapon. That's a gutsy call.
It really is. Those blue guards will need 2 bombs to actually take out completely. I guess he could also use the Cane of Samaria. He doesn't have very many shots with it, but he could also use that to destroy some other guards as well. And he, of course, has the 2 pots that are in the ball and chain room, so definitely has some options at least.
Okay. Rick takes some time to get that anti-fairy, which is kind of an interesting play.
Ooh, 8 bomb drop in the in that room and escape right there. And Samaria right there too.
Yep, and we see the burrito for Pegs.
There's just 1 more chest left to check and escape, and it looks like Rick is going to go over to the mini Moldorm Cave, which is a pretty good spot to check. 5 items are in that location. Just has to take out 4 pesky little worm guys before he does so, and he doesn't have a whole lot of items. Like, he'll probably be utilizing that cane quite a bit in here.
Yeah, not a bad idea because you can just kind of push it around or maybe get a couple multi-hits there. Little bit difficult in this mini Moldorm Cave, but he's got the magic to do it, so.
And he is making it work, too. Yeah, he got it. He didn't have to use a single bomb for that.
Pag's strategy not playing out there, and so far we have money, bombs.
Bombs and a heart, so not a lot of items except for those items that were in Kakariko so far. DSpags is going to go south and also clean up the same locations that Rick just checked. Despite having slight differences in their routing, I'd say they're probably about at the same progress. I think if Rick checks the escape area, he'd probably be about even with DSpags right now.
Absolutely. It's too easy to say either one really has a lead. While we've gotten some items like Moon Pearl and Samaria, those were very common routed areas, so really no lead to speak of so far.
Yeah. Have even more rupees. Okay, so opting to leave Ice Cave, not going to go for fake flippers, which I understand since he does not have 500 rupees yet for Zora. Maybe if he gets some at Eastern, which might be his next play, I can see him potentially go back there. But we'll have to see how that plays out.
It does look like he's heading right over to Eastern as well. This will be a good play, a real common play to make at this point in the game.
And at this point, they are kind of running a little low on items. They have some things to work with, but they will need other items to complement them. Like they both have that Moon Pearl, which is nice, but until they get that Power Glove and Hammer, they cannot use that to go to Dark World.
No lift upgrades either, so I mean that's another thing that kind of traps them back.
Yeah. Here we have bombs, rupees, and a piece of heart. That has been the story for this seed so far.
At this point, there's almost got to be something of value in Agina's cave, doesn't there?
I think at this point, unless I am just heavily missing an item like the lantern will need to appear in some of the first chests of Eastern or in Agina's cave. Otherwise, yeah, they're going to need to get something. Otherwise, there is not much left for them to do.
Rick, of course, making the play into Eastern. Rick is definitely a player capable of doing lampless Eastern if he ever needs to, so not necessarily worried about it, although we know the lamp can't be past the dark room for whatever reason.
That is true. They will never put the lamp past a dark room. That is part of the no glitches logic, and you'll never be expected to do dark rooms in these tournament matches, but if you can, it could potentially give you a huge lead. And flippers. We have flippers in the Eastern Palace.
Well, that'll automatically mean we have 2 chests up for the Slim Fairy for us to check. We have a Fat Fairy. I figured we have a Slim Fairy as well.
That's true. And there is, if Rick does decide to go through some of the dark rooms, he could potentially also grind some rupees in the dark room in this dungeon to get up to that magic 500 that will be needed for Zora.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit surprised, and there's the big key, that neither players opened up with the Houlihan room. We've seen that be a very popular move with a lot of racers in this tournament so far.
That does kind of surprise me as well. That is a strat that I would normally implement, especially after Kakariko and having the amount of rupees that these players do. But that Houlihan was definitely very viable in the previous version, version 25. In this version, not so much, because they did add, I believe, a 300 and a 100 rupee chest with the inclusion of that waterfall fairy cave. So it's generally more likely that you'll have the 500 after exploring Kakariko. And we did just find the gloves inside Eastern Palace, so yep, in a little bit, DSpags will just need the hammer to get to the Dark World.
Yep, and that's 2 of the 3 items, so Rick's going to head on and see if if this last chest behind the dark room has the 3rd item. Eastern Palace is a lesser pendant, so unless it's a pedestal check, if the last item is here, he can bug out and not worry about this place again.
It's true. I'm actually wondering, because right now they do have the cape. I'm wondering if one of these locations coming up, they will find a sword upgrade, which means that Aghanim will be once they find that lamp.
Oh yeah, I mean, lamp would certainly be required to do Aghanim, but man, you're absolutely right. Early cape does frequently point towards an Aghanim seed.
Just because the lumberjack tree does not have an item they need, they might need to get to the Dark World just to progress and get some more items. So Aghanim, even if the lumberjack tree is nothing, you may still have to do it just to get some progression down. The final
having to get...
It's just a heart container.
Yep, and that's the last item, so absolutely no reason to even worry about coming back here for Armos, unless for whatever reason it's a pedestal seed.
For sure. So this will. Oh, he has to. Rick still has to check the escape chest, so that's probably what he's going to do next. But I am starting to wonder, like, obviously Zora would be a good play next, checking that area and potentially getting 4 items there. But after that, like, they'd need the lantern to get some progression as far as the seed is concerned. So do you make the play and go ahead and do Aghanim, or go up to Death Mountain to see if you can get 1 or 2 other items, which may potentially be something, but you would potentially risk a lot of time going up there to check.
If it were me, I would probably go ahead and do Death Mountain, only because I really hate doing Aghanim that much.
It would also get the respawn point up there as well, so I can understand that play.
Yeah, and it's all moot until we get the lantern, because even our bravest runners won't do Dark Room Aghanim, because nobody leaves nothing.
Sure. Let's make it a little easier, but even then, there's a lot of pits. There's that Dark Room maze. It's just, it could be really, really bad, especially with those guards that pretty much rush at you whenever you are in the vicinity. So we will probably not be seeing that in this tournament.
That would be, I think, the gutsiest play. If you ever want to be on get a clip done for you for every play at all ever, do Darkroom Aghanim. We'll totally hype you up for that.
Hey, DSpags, looks like he might be. Oh wait, he has the Power Glove. That's right. He can check the back 3 chests and escape now too.
Absolutely, and that's a solid play when you have the bombs. There could be a lot of value right here.
Sure. 3 chests.
And both are sitting at about 400 rupees right now, so getting real close to this Zora check as well.
There's the bow.
I mean, if it's pointing us towards maybe Eastern Palace is required, maybe the pendants are going to be needed.
Maybe, yeah. Still need that lantern, though, to at least as far as the logic is concerned. And is walking. He might be checking out Hobo, though.
Yeah, that'd be a fair play right now, particularly since you got the early flippers.
At this point, he only needs like a 50 or a couple of 20 rupees, which Randomizer is full of the 20 rupee items, as we've seen already. So he will probably make up what he needs to get to Zora with what he has right here.
And we'll see, drum roll for the Hobo. He used to be an adventurer like Link until he took an arrow to the knee.
And he gets half magic. Not a bad safety item to have, honestly.
Yeah, particularly when your main weapon is either the bow or the Cane of Samaria. Half magic when you're burning through that much magic early. Meanwhile, Rick is going to check the back half of Escape, so he'll be getting his bow shortly as well.
X is going to be checking the Zora area now. 2 chests in the Waterfall Ferry, 1 chest or 1 item on the ledge, and then of course the Zora item. Still can't get the Zora item, but probably hoping for some more rupees right here just so he can check that and get that loose end out of the way now, as opposed to having to come back here later.
Ooh, and no rupees so far, so he's about 50 rupees short. Rick's about 50 rupees short, so probably going to check the ledge item, hoping maybe...
Yeah. We're going to get right now. It is the...
Ooh!
Okay, Dark World is available now.
I'm a little bit sad because, I mean, this is going to be a long way out of the way if Zora happens to have something of value over here. But definitely getting value out of that Titansmith there.
I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, please, but I think this means that Aga is not required because they do have the flippers, so they can still get to that pyramid area if you go to North Dark World. I'm up that one ledge, so I think that officially makes the not necessary.
Yep, absolutely. You'll be able to get down and get around to it. It's a long way, absolutely, but the logic does say that you can do it.
Yeah, and honestly, it's a small price. It's a small price to pay as opposed to going through the entire Aghanim Tower.
Absolutely. Aghanim's Tower is just, a solid 3 minutes of nothing. No progress, just working towards one item, so it's a little bit rough.
It looks like DSpags is going to be going to the Kakariko area, going to be warping in that little warp point north of Kakariko, and we'll start